Hey everybody and welcome to another One Piece video. This time I'm not reviewing the manga, this time I'm reviewing a very special episode of the anime. An episode despite being an emotional ride with high quality production, it merely scratches the surface of what we're about to witness. This is the episode that elevates the source material to levels beyond imagination, an episode full of soul. One Piece episode 1013. The director of this episode is Ryota Nakamura. He's known mostly for his work on Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power as the series director alongside Nagamine. This isn't his first episode on One Piece. He worked on episode 850, which was amazing. It seems he's comfortable working with Masayuki Takagi, who's the animation director for this episode. His recent work has been as strong as ever, and he is responsible for the best shot of Carrot. So yeah, it's the exact same staff as 850, except this time it's a Wano episode, which means more resources and better schedule. Nakamura wastes no time as the episode starts with no recap. Before getting to the Ace and Yamato content, we get the Tobiropo stuff, and man were they good. The compositing in this episode gave each scene its own memorable atmosphere. Sanji and Black Maria's scene with the dark red lighting. The perspective shots in this section were amazing, especially the one of Sanji running away. The section ends right before Black Maria's attack lands, which creates a flawless transition to Luffy fighting Morbius pirates. And this is one of the things that help the pacing. Not a single transition feels unnatural. And with how rich this episode is with content, I can easily say this is one of the episodes that flow exceptionally, and a perfect example of how irrelevant the number of pages adapted when such episodes exist. As Who's Who reveals that he knows Jinbe, we get one of my favorite bits of the episode with a back shot of Jinbe. What makes this stand out is Nakamura's use of black and white and the black borders that give the flashback its own world. The fabric animation is also solid in this section, and as the camera zooms in, we get a transitional bit within the flashback with a very fitting sound effect. So yeah, from framing to pacing to animation, these bits were perfect. Now to the main focus of the episode. Nakamura's storyboard is filled with creative shots. I'm a big fan of how Ace was introduced here, but again, Nakamura wastes no time. The moment Ace lands in Onigashima, the action starts. If there's one thing I didn't expect this episode to shine massively with, its action. Because of how intense the upcoming content is to adapt, I thought it would be more conservative in that category. But I'm glad I was wrong. Yoshikazu Tomita starts things off with cool movement and effects. It hasn't been long since he worked on an action scene, but he's an animator known for his insane speed, as he was present on most Whole Cake Island episodes, and he was without a doubt a pillar of that arc visually. Unfortunately, he's the only known animator on this episode so far, so my assumption is that the other animators are all freelancers. There's a lot of interactions in this episode that felt very human. For example, the three girls being terrified of Ace as he was using his power, until he quickly turns off his flames after seeing their reaction. Ace's crew leaves, and this is where Ace and Yamato starts having a bit of the fight. There's a lot of inspiration from the legendary animator Naoto Shishida. He's known for his exaggerated head movements. Considering both Ace and Yamato went through family crisis, we get short bits of their flashbacks. This is a perfect example of good use of flashbacks that don't exist for the sake of stretching the episode, both of which ended quickly and didn't overstay their short time. The sun rises and the whole atmosphere turns magical. Every single shot in this section is beyond gorgeous. As Ace helps Yamato to free her shackled heart, Yamato's inner conflicts are presented in strong, believable fashion. As she stares at her father's tattoo, her trauma overwhelms her and she drops her weapon. The sinister OST was a perfect choice for this moment. After breaking the statue, I appreciate the silence. You only hear the characters and you only hear the sound of the ocean. Here I want to give major props to Saori Hayami for her voice acting performance as Yamato breaks down. And with Nakamura's perfect OST choice, it really peaked with emotional impact. And to take it even further, the soundtrack continues as Ace melts the statue with gorgeous compositing and fire effects. As someone who's not a big fan of Yamato, this episode made me appreciate her a lot more. The bond developed between her and Ace felt so organic because of the masterclass presentation of their story. Now to my favorite part of the whole episode. It was my favorite moment in the manga chapter 2. The way Nakamura directs and storyboards it almost brought me to tears. As the camera moves from bottom to top, after mentioning all these big shots, the camera slowly reaches Luffy, who stands at the very top, landing in the same nostalgic way as in the first opening. And again, Nakamura's OST choice is beyond perfect. Best way to bring closure to this episode is the technique that connects Ace's will to Luffy. Red Hawk animated beyond perfectly. God, I love the sketchy animation style on this. To wrap things up, this is an episode I will find myself rewatching more than once. It's one thing to adapt content, it's another when you go an extra step to improve it in every single way, which is in my opinion what every anime should do. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll meet again on the rooftop.